The corridor lights flickered as Dr. Elena Vargas pressed herself against the cold metal wall, listening. 3 sets of claws clicked against the deck plating, slow, confident, the sound of predators who knew their prey was cornered. She was alone on Research Station Kepler 9, 40 light-years from Earth. The V-Rix had arrived an hour ago, juvenile hunters on their Kithral, the coming-of-age hunt. Their scanning equipment had identified one human female, unarmed, no enhanced musculature or subdermal armor. Easy prey. They were already celebrating. Elena's hand found the environmental control panel. The station's life support hummed around her, her weapon, if she could think fast enough. The V-Rix were apex predators from a 1.4G world, their reflexes honed by a million years of evolutionary dominance. They could tear through a steel door with their bare claws. But they'd never hunted a human before. The first one rounded the corner, barely adolescent by V-Rix standards, but already 7 feet of corded muscle and chitin plates. Its 4 eyes tracked her instantly. It chittered something in its clicking language, probably calling the others. Elena ran. Not away toward the maintenance shaft. She heard the V-Rix's hunting cry, felt the vibration of its charge through the deck. She dove through the opening just as claws raked the air behind her, rolled, and slammed the emergency seal. The creature's confused snarl echoed through the walls. 30 seconds later, she heard them conferring, then silence. They were learning, adapting. She bought herself 5 minutes, maybe less. Elena crawled through the shaft, her mind racing through the station's layout. The V-Rix were faster, stronger, armed with natural weapons that could shred her in seconds. But they'd evolved as ambush hunters on a world with thin atmosphere and low oxygen. Their burst speed was incredible, for 30 seconds. Then their muscles flooded with lactic acid. Humans were different. She dropped into engineering and immediately started cycling the environmental controls. Temperature up, oxygen content down, just slightly, not enough to trigger alarms in their suits, but enough to make them work harder. She pulled the fire suppression system offline and rerouted coolant from the reactor shielding. The station began to warm. They found her in the hydroponics bay, all 3 this time spreading out to cut off escape routes. The largest one, the pack leader, probably clicked something that sounded like laughter. Elena stood in the center, surrounded by earth plants, visibly exhausted. Sweat beaded on her forehead. She ran again. They gave chase, and this time Elena set the pace, not full sprint but a steady jog that she could maintain. She led them through corridors, up maintenance ladders, across the observation deck. Every few minutes she glanced back to see them following, their movements still fluid, still confident. But she was counting. 15 minutes in, their formation started to break. 20 minutes and the smallest one was falling behind, its breathing labored in the warming air. 25 minutes and the pack leader's strides were shortening, its tongue lolling. Elena wasn't even winded. She run marathons in the Sahara. She trained at altitude. Her body was built by evolution not for the quick kill, but for the persistence hunt, the ancient human strategy of running prey to exhaustion. No creature on Earth could match human endurance, and the V-Rix, for all their terrifying advantages, came from a cold world where hunts were measured in seconds. 30 minutes in, she stopped running. The V-Rix pack leader staggered into the cargo bay alone. Its packmates had collapsed 2 corridors back, their bodies shutting down from heat exhaustion and oxygen debt. It raised its claws, tried to charge, and stumbled. Elena stood perfectly still as it fell to its knees, sides heaving, unable to comprehend how the small, soft creature had simply outlasted it. She walked over and pressed the tranquilizer injector against its neck. It would wake up in the medical bay with its companions, unharmed but humbled. "Your species hunts with claws and speed," Elena said quietly as its eyes dimmed. "Mine hunts with time." When the Galactic Council arrived to retrieve the young hunters, they found Dr. Vargas in her lab, working. The VRIX pack leader, awake now and subdued, stood in the doorway. It clicked something in its language, then switched to translated speech. "We chose wrong prey," it said. "We thought humans were weak." Elena looked up from her microscope. "We are weak. That's why we had to become dangerous." The young VRIX left without taking a trophy. Its first hunt had taught it what the galaxy was slowly learning. Physical power was temporary, but human ingenuity was eternal. Humanity hadn't clawed its way to the top of their world's food chain. They'd simply refused to stop moving until everything else fell down.